Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. And most importantly, you guys provide some actual insight into what a lot of this information means. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. I only speak to transportation professionals on my content, you guys, whether it's this or my twice a week long form podcast that I drop on iTunes and Spotify exclusively. I only speak to people who are in this industry because at the end of the day, we need to put information out there by the people who have done what you're trying to do or who are doing what you are trying to accomplish as well. So we can put the right information out there, you guys. We want to put information out there that you can apply, utilize, and see a meaningful difference in your business, in your life. It's one of the many reasons why I probably fly this American flag behind me. It's the greatest nation on earth. It's our flag. It's the people's flag. And B, I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you guys live yours as well through learning from people that are doing what you want to do out there, you guys. Got a solo show today. You guys, just like with a lot of you, I'm out here building my companies as well and, getting guests on here. I will have one on later this week, but I'm doing that. I'm filling up guest slots kind of as I come along and everything, and we're going to jump in. But before we jump into today's topic, which is going to be about building a business during a turbulent time, as well as the articles, you guys, before we do that, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, you guys, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper, we all need access to trailers at some point in time. And for my small fleets, my owner ops out there, this is a brand new revenue stream for you because you get paid to move these trailers. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading these trailers out. So what they have is West Valley City, Utah, going up to Calgary, Alberta, and you get $15.50 US to do that. And now these are the ones that I'm the most excited about. So if you're out there trying to get in the door with the large enterprise shippers, you guys, they need drop trailers, right? That's what a lot of them are going to say. Do you have drop trailers? How long can you drop them for? This gives you this opportunity because there's a trailer pool out there in Paragould, Arkansas. There's like 150 drive-ins that need to get up to Mississauga, Ontario. So you got 1,000 Canadian to do that. And then they have a similar one over in Staunton, Wisconsin, needing to go over to Milton, Ontario. Same thing. There's 200 trailers there, $1,000 Canadian per trailer to move those over there, you guys. So get creative in how you're selling right now. And finally, they also have Milton, Ontario to Moncton, New Brunswick. You get 400 Canadian to do that. And then they also have some trailers down in the Dallas DFW area, you guys. It's in, give me 1 second. It is in Hutchins, Texas, and Dallas, Texas. And then they need to get up to Long Sault, Ontario. So they have Long Sault, Ontario to Hutchins, Texas, and then Dallas, Texas to Long Sault, Ontario, you guys. So there's just another option for you to get out there and get creative, you guys. This is how you win customers in any freight market, you guys, is it's not the traditional stuff. So yeah, you guys hit them up, vhubapp.com. My man, Xavier Campos and Stacey Steen, they'll be in the audience. And that's going to kind of really lead into what I want to talk about. My man, Chris Brewer's already here. I saw his post earlier today, and I want to read through this for you guys, because again, this guy's out here, him and his team are building River City Logistics, you guys. They are making real moves out there. You guys, they don't have heavy, there's no VC funding them. They're just a pure play broker. They are boots to the ground, grinding shit out, just like we are at Freight Coach Logistics, you guys. And guys like Chris, guys like myself, amongst others, I know I'm forgetting some, we're literally laying the groundwork for you guys to follow this information. This is coming from people who have done what you're trying to do and who are doing what you're trying to do. So before I get into that, you got just obviously got to give the shout out, give my loves to my Freight Coach Nation out here. Tracy O. St. Clair, good morning. James Davis, good morning. Appreciate you joining me in. Louie, good night. Work all night. Have a great day. Keep rolling forward. Louie's with Rolling Dice Logistics, you guys. Trucking out to Mud. Hey, running a box truck. We'll answer that here as soon as we talk about this. Lane Slover, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Steve Mason, good morning, man. Thanks for tuning in. Sonny Sharma, good fucking morning, Orange Shirt Gang. All right. So topic of conversation is building a business in a turbulent time, you guys. And I've Like, this is all I've known, because when I went into business for myself, it was in April of 2020. We all know the bullshit that was going on during that time. So these last 3 years have been nose to the ground, just figuring shit out, right? Because there's no playbook to anything out there. No, there's no fucking course that you're going to take that's going to give you everything you need. All right. There are some great courses that are out there for you to take, but you still have to do the work, you guys, right? There's a framework for you to follow, but you still have to do the work. Most importantly, you got to win the battle upstairs. All right. What do I mean by that? The highs are very fucking high and the lows are very fucking low in this. All right. Whether you're owning this and building it on your own, or you're an employee somewhere, you guys, the rejection, the amount of effort that you put in to get a customer, to earn a customer, is a lot more than you think. Because these last couple of years, it gave a false sense of security in transportation, that it's going to be easy. It's always going to be easy. We just quote whatever we want. It doesn't matter. Customers are going to give us freight. Well, that ship has sailed, right? And I get this DM more than anything. How do I get shippers? And, again, you guys, I talk to a lot of shippers on this show. They're on here. They're telling you everything. All right. They're telling you everything. Go back. I got like 500 episodes damn near at this point, you guys, of information in the industry. There's a ton of insight that's out there. So back to what my man Chris Brewer was saying out here. This was a great post. And if you're not following Chris Brewer, follow him. He's on LinkedIn. He's a good buddy of mine. I talk to him a lot. He says, prior to owning my business, I used to always ask myself this one question: why don't I get more responses from my prospects? Now that I own my own business and I am the hunted, I love that term, I totally understand the value in being unique and being catchy with those first few initial touches. Here are a few tips that I would give anybody who's reaching out via cold email. Be short and to the point. No paragraphs or monologues. Use bullet points to outline your value. They stick out. Very true. Also, don't ask for somebody's time on the first touch. You have to earn it. And then he says, I didn't write the book on solicitation. I'm simply sharing my vantage point and what I appreciate to see from people soliciting my business and services. I couldn't agree more with that, because I talk about this pretty often. How would you want to be solicited? Put yourself in the prospect's shoes. Would you, and use your own personal life too here. Do you reply to a cold email that somebody writes out a paragraph? I don't think so, right? I know I don't. I read the first couple of sentences. And then I'm like, if there's nothing catchy in there, or furthermore, if they don't even know what I do, that is the biggest turnoff right there. Is it's like, well, wait a second. Why would I give you anything if you don't even know what I'm in business for, right? So as you're going through this, you guys, it is, how do you stand out in a crowd? Well, obviously, this is why I rock the orange polo every single day in the backwards hat, because I stand out in a crowd, but a digital crowd out there. Chris brought up very good points. Be very direct on why you're reaching out. All right. You can't ask for shit on the very first outreach of, hey, give me your freight. Maybe there's a lane I can quote for you. I'm out here doing this as well, you guys, and my responses have tripled after really fine tuning what we've been saying in our outreach out there. Now, does that mean we've set up 1,000 customers? Absolutely not. But we are saying enough to where they're at least responding. And that to me says that we're going to be in their file of, this is who we're going to reach out to when we need them. All right. Because it's not that instant gratification. And if anything, that over these last 3 years, because I'm coming up on 3 years here in business for myself, and I'm going to release probably a 35, 40-minute podcast on a lot of it for you guys. But these last 3 years have taught me that business is earned. No matter what, you guys, business is earned. And when you get a customer, you have to keep them loyal. You got to build that loyalty, because there's so much effort that goes into earning somebody's business. And if you're willing to let that walk out the door to your competitor because you don't want to do the work, you're going to have a very hard time making it in sales or anything, because it's not on your time as a sales rep, right? You are a value You are adding value. You are a service provider. Even if you are selling a product to somebody, you have a tangible product that you're selling to somebody. It is not on your time of when that sale is done. It is based on when your prospect or when your customer needs your service or needs your product. That might be at fucking 9 o'clock on a Friday night or 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you got to work 24/7, 365, because that's all bullshit and we know it. And I think that, but the fact of the matter is once you get in the door, you guys, that's when the real work starts every single time. Selling is easy. All right. Selling is easy because there's no expectations in the sale, right? Like there's no, hey, is your truck going to show up at 2 o'clock? And that's what I mean is it's like the real work always starts when that BOL hits your inbox and it's go time, right? That's when the real work starts. That's when you better back up what the fuck you've been saying in your pitch. Otherwise, you're out the door, right? So this is like, and I know that this is the reality of it because like when you're a new provider for somebody, your leash is about fucking this long. It's very short, right? Because if you fuck up, not all the time, but like if you do some really stupid shit out there, it's going to cost yourself some business long term. You know, there's a way to handle it. I've messed up on the first load before and continue to do, I continue to work with somebody, but I made it right because it was how I handled it. But if you sell yourself on having all of these capabilities that you truly don't, or sell yourself on product knowledge that you have no idea on, it's going to be a very short-lived process with them. That's why I'm all about the niche all the time, you guys. Yes, I'm a freight broker. Can I accommodate multiple modes? Absolutely, I can. But my wheelhouse is open deck and heavy haul. That's what I do. That's what I would argue I'm the absolute best at in the entire fucking industry. All right. That's why I stick with that because I have that same conversation time and time again. I have been able to identify what their pain points are without asking them, what's your pain points? What's your biggest issue? I know what their biggest issue is because I've moved a lot of freight in my career. And if you haven't moved a lot of freight in your career, rest assured, you can learn it by just having conversations with individuals, by studying a specific product and sticking with that. And then in time, you guys, the confidence that you're looking for, everything that you want is in the repetition. All right. You will never build confidence by debating if you should call somebody or debating if you should send that email or that direct message. The reality is you're going to send a lot of outreach. You're going to put a lot of effort out there and you're not going to get anything in return from the majority of them. And that's fine because not every person out there is going to be your ideal customer. But that's what makes it so much more rewarding when you get and earn somebody's business. You know, like Chris Brewer and I talk about this all the time. Like, this isn't a game to either of us, you know, and I know that a lot of people watching the show, it's not a game to them either. This is how I feed my family. This is how I put a roof over my family's head. I will never risk that to make a fucking dollar or to fuck somebody over. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to make it right. All right. I'm going to do that because I'm a human being, but I will never risk the integrity of my customers' business and their relationships with their customers because this is what provides for my family. Because I don't have a golden parachute, you guys. I don't have a lifeline that I'm like, hey, transfer me 50K, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys don't either, you know? So my mentality is the value that I can add, whether that's business today or that's business in 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 24 months from now, it doesn't matter. I'm in this for the long haul, pun intended. This isn't a lifestyle business to me. I'm not going to jump out of this. I'm going to create the biggest fucking freight brokerage North America has ever seen. And anybody who hears that and chuckles, I'll buy your fucking popcorn for you to sit back and watch me. That's where I'm at with this, you guys. You have to keep showing up every single day. You have to do the work. You have to refine your pitch. If what you're saying right now isn't gaining responses, tweak some things. I would start with shortening it up. If you pull up your template right now, if you're using one for whatever reason, I would advise against that. But if you are, and your template's like fucking that long, cut that shit in 3/4. Get it down there, refine it, and run with that, you guys. Try some different approaches. Try some different approaches with this. But all right. That's kind of it. That went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but at the end of the day, you guys, I want you guys to fucking win with me because there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a ton of opportunity that's out there, and I want each and every one of you guys to win with me. Like, and it's possible. You guys can build a very successful business by listening to, hell, not even what I have to say. My guests are a lot smarter than I am. Listen to what they're saying out there, you guys, and applying that. Like, again, I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to mention it again. I interviewed 2 enterprise shippers last week, you guys. iTunes, Spotify, Coffee with the Freight Coach. Listen to it. If you apply everything that they say in there, talk to me in 12 months from now. You will have a 7-figure book of business if you apply everything that they say. That's how much fucking value that they're giving you. All right? All right. Anyways, Chris Brewer, thanks for the post and the extra jolt of motivation. All right. First article we are going to break down today. ttnews.com. Embark lays off workers, explores liquidation of sales. So obviously I broke down that autonomous trucking article yesterday about how they want the waivers for the safety stuff and everything. And I didn't see this came out. This did come out on the 3rd, but I didn't notice that until yesterday. Yeah, so apparently Embark is laying off 70% of its workforce, 230 employees, and it's closing its facilities in Houston and San Francisco. It also indicated that the remaining 30% are there to facilitate the shutdown. According to the regulatory filing with the SEC, the next step is liquidation, and it's actively looking for a buyer. Embark was founded in 2016 by its then 20-year-old co-founders Alex Rodriguez and Brandon Moak. During the latter part of the 2010s, it captured the attention of investors interested in growing autonomous truck and technology sector. In 2018, they raised $50 million and research into the self-driving technology out there. And then the company agreed to merge via a special purpose acquisition with Northern Genesis Acquisition Corp in a deal that was valued at nearly $5 billion. But the acquisition got off to a rocky start. Investors redeemed their SPAC shares early, lowering by about $300 million in expected proceeds. Embark began as a public company with $314 million. Its financial prospects diminished further. Unfortunately, after thoroughly evaluating all alternatives, we have been unable to identify a path forward for the business in its current form. Although there are many external things that we wish had gone differently, ultimately this outcome is my responsibility. Alex Rodriguez, mad fucking props for owning that. All right. You are the first person. I broke down a ton of these articles about people laying off individuals and companies. You are the first CEO who has sat up here and owned every part of this. Major props to you, man. I don't know if you'll ever see it. If anybody from Embark watches this, dude, major props to you. That takes a lot because based off of what a lot of your peers do, a lot of them blame everybody but themselves. And he goes on to say, I'm sorry that myself and Brandon weren't able to find a way. Dude, this is such a major stepping stone for this guy. I just got a good feeling that this guy's going to come back strong. He's going to come back strong. What he's saying right here is that accountability is so key, you guys. And again, like to kind of tie into what we were talking about earlier about building a book of business and building your business in a turbulent time and everything, accountability is a major, major, major factor in it. The buck stops with me every single time. With my companies that I'm in, the buck stops with me. It's my name on the fucking side, on the paperwork, right? It's my name that's signed on that. It's nobody else's, it's mine. When I succeed, it's because of my team. When it fails, it's because of me. It's nobody else. And that's how you should look at things if you're a leader. When you build something, your team is building it with you. If it fails as a leader, it's your fucking fault. It's not your team's fault. I really love what this guy said in here. If anybody who was affected by these layoffs is listening to this show, always DM me. Send me a DM. Send me your information. Let me know if you want to stay in trucking. I know a lot of people in this industry, and I'll help in any way I can to help you guys get back out there. It's never It's never good seeing businesses close down. I'm a major proponent for people succeeding, and making things work. It couldn't have been an easy decision. It couldn't have been an easy decision at all. And I feel for him because I hate seeing this. But if everything that Alex Rodriguez said, he runs on that, dude, that guy's going to come back strong. Keep an eye on that name. All right. So we are going to go into fleetowner.com for the second article, and it's breaking down trucking regulations worth watching. Obviously, the TCA's conference is going on right now down in Orlando. Long haul truckers are 98% cleaner than the tractors that hauled freight across America 30 years ago. But that efficiency isn't enough for industry regulators who are pushing the trucking industry into more expensive equipment and technologies that OEMs are still perfecting. Decarbonization is one of several movements that federal and local regulators are working on this year. And then when you're looking at emissions and equipment standards that are going across the country, whether it's in California or it's federal EPA based, there are concerns, said Dave Heller. He's with Safety and Government Affairs at the TCA, specifically in the long haul trucking sector, because guess what? You put a regulation out that they're out there that is prescribing carriers to start changing their fleet over to emission-friendly piece of equipment that don't exist yet. Shocking. He said that it's a problem that there are no true zero-emission equipment on the market for long-haul fleets, but Heller and TCA members want to be sure the lower-emission vehicles are reliable for freight transportation. Congressional Republicans are attempting to hold up the stringent heavy-duty emissions regulations. You're talking about an investment in equipment that is a lot of money to lay out. We want to do what's right and to make sure we have equipment that functionally works and isn't parked on the roadside with freight that has to get transferred to another truck. They're literally putting the cart before the horse on this rulemaking without having everything properly discovered, invented, and tried before putting the rulemaking out there. More stringent emission standards and other regulations could reshape the trucking and freight industry that's out there. The Department of Labor is trying to reverse a Trump rule that made it easier for businesses to classify workers as independent contractors, such as owner-operators, which I wholeheartedly support that rule. I am vehemently against AB 5 in every fucking level of it. The Biden administration believes the new rule would preserve fundamental worker rights and provide consistency for regulated entities. I'm just going to put out there that, workers' rights tend to formulate unions, and we all see what's happening with the unions out in the catastrophe that's going on in Ohio right now when the union workers are reporting that they don't have proper stuff. So are they really backing them up? Really backing them up? Doesn't really look like it. And it goes on to say there's not a truckload carrier out there that didn't start because somebody went out and bought one truck and started delivering freight. This is the business model. This is the American dream. A majority of the industry started this way, and it's threat to that business model. And it is a threat, whether it's AB 5 or the Department of Labor. I couldn't agree more with that. My dad was an owner operator. He lived his American dream for the entirety of his career. And he's not here to fight for this shit anymore. So luckily for, I'm here to fight for him. I'm here to fight on behalf of my entire family who are owner operators and truck drivers because of this stuff. This is what we're going to talk about because I will never stand for legislation that puts people out of business. That's what a lot of this is doing. It's making it a lot harder. If a lot of this emission shit comes through, like they're talking about in there, it's the technology is not even out there yet to purchase. So why are we putting regulations in place that would prohibit somebody from even driving out there? I just don't think anything that they're doing is going to be benefiting the industry. And again, if you want to see how this quote unquote clean energy that they're talking about is mined, just Google lithium cobalt mine. Just do that. I'll leave it at that. You Google that and tell me how that's eco-friendly. That's all I'm going to say with that one. But again, you guys getting involved with organizations such as like the TCA, ATA, the TIA and stuff like that, and knowing about legislation that's out there that affects our industry is so crucial. It's so crucial to be a part of those organizations. And I'm sure there's other ones out there, and I apologize if I left them off that list, but they're fighting for you on Capitol Hill. They're fighting for these ridiculous draconian laws that they're trying to place out there that puts the American dream that much further away for so many people. And I will never stand for that at all. I will never stand for that. That article, you guys, fleetowner.com, pre-trip breaking down trucking regs, worth watching. And then, that's another thing too, you guys, at the end of the day, if you don't like what you're seeing out here, contact your local officials all the time. Your local elected congressmen or women out there, contact them, air your grievances with them. That's why we elected them. Remember that. All right. I don't know if I don't think we're going to be able to get to this third article today, you guys, because we'll actually save this one for tomorrow so we can lead into that, because there's some good tips and tricks out there that are for to help people keep people in business. But I want to answer, I hope he's still watching over on YouTube, trucking out to mud, running a box truck business. Man, I look at it like this, man. Own your backyard. Whatever city you're in, own your backyard. Get some business cards made. Go around and introduce yourself in person, man. You have the asset. You have everything right there. I think you would be pleasantly surprised about running local. Like I look at it like this. If you're in Texas, for example, running that Texas triangle for a box truck, dude, there's probably so much freight that runs between just Dallas and Houston alone, or Houston and San Antonio alone every single day that would fit your business model. So whether you have a 26-foot, 24-foot, 28-foot box truck, whatever that looks like, man, I would just go out there, and that's your capability, right? That's your value add right there, is be specific about the areas you want to run, man. Go in there with some business cards. Nice, I'm a big fan of polo shirts. Tuck in polo, some nice jeans, walk in there, shake some hands. That's how I would do it. If I started a trucking company tomorrow, the first thing I would do is walk into every single warehouse or every single flatbed yard that would need my truck and introduce myself to all of them. Get in your personal vehicle and drive around, stack of business cards, let them know you're the business owner, you're the individual, you're looking for consistent business on these lanes to fit your customer network. All right. Do that. Let them know what commodities, obviously, if you want specific commodities, man, pull up Google. Dude, I use Google. I personally use a company called seamless.ai for lead generation. Right now, they're a phenomenal tool. But I would do that. I'd choose a commodity, choose a freight type, man, and then just go own your backyard wherever you are. Wherever you are, own that backyard. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised on the amount of local freight or the freight within 100 miles of where you are that there is actually moving that would fit your box truck. All right. So I would talk to them about that, man, and do that. I hope you're still watching this over on YouTube. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. As always, I do stream live on YouTube. The audio only replay is going to be available on iTunes and Spotify. Just search the Freight Coach, you guys. It'll pull up. Freight Coach is the name of the YouTube channel, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then iTunes and Spotify is Coffee with the Freight Coach, you guys. And if you guys do go to those other platforms, do me a favor, subscribe and share the show, you guys. Get this message out there if you see value in it. Rank that show if you see value in what you're hearing out here, you guys, because at the end of the day, that's how we are. The Top Transportation Podcast is because of each and every one of you. Because if you guys see value, your network's going to see value in it as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.